Welcome to another HistorySpeak.com's Behind the Headlines podcast. My name is Randy Jaye. This episode is titled The Myth of Sherlock Holmes. Many people believe a brilliant consulting detective named Sherlock Holmes actually existed. However, in reality, he is a famous fictional character created by a British writer and physician named Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who was born in 1859 and died in 1930. In 1887, the Sherlock Holmes character, along with his friend and confidant, Dr. Watson, first appeared in print in the detective novel titled A Study in Scarlet. The Sherlock Holmes detective adventures became internationally popular, and by 1927, Doyle published a total of 4 novels and 56 short stories featuring the detective duo of Holmes and Watson as they investigated a wide variety of cases for various clients, including ordinary individuals seeking assistance with personal issues to high-profile figures such as aristocrats, foreign dignitaries, royalty, and even Scotland Yard. Most of their adventures started at the famous address of 221B Baker Street in London, where they shared the residence. Sherlock Holmes's foremost and most famous foe is a brilliant criminal mastermind named Professor James Moriarty. Holmes often referred to Moriarty as the Napoleon of crime. Moriarty is Holmes's intellectual equal and lethal arch-rival. Holmes uses his exceptional deductive reasoning for the good of society, while Moriarty applies his impressive intellect to direct a vast and well-organized criminal network. By the 1990s, over 25,000 stage adaptations, films, publications, radio, and television programs featured the Sherlock Holmes character. In the Guinness Book of World Records, Holmes is listed as the most portrayed human literary character in film and television history. The myth of Sherlock Holmes in most stage adaptations, films, publications, radio, and television productions portray a man with a brilliant mind and an extraordinary skill set, which includes an obsession with observational deduction, attention to the most minuscule of details, forensic science, chemical expertise, master of disguise, boxing, swordsmanship, and musical knowledge, including eloquent violin playing. The Sherlock Holmes character that Arthur Conan Doyle frequently depicted in his literature was not always a flawless, razor-focused genius. Holmes was frequently depicted as a complex and flawed individual who was emotional, erratic, a regular user of cocaine, and socially dysfunctional. Thousands of stage adaptations, films, publications, radio, and television productions featuring Sherlock Holmes have conjured up several iconic characteristics that have become mainstream misconceptions that are not associated with his original character. The iconic calabash curved pipe was never mentioned in any of the Arthur Conan Doyle stories. The pipe was popularized by American actor, playwright, inventor, and stage director William Gillette because audiences could see his face easier. The iconic catchphrase that Holmes often states, "Elementary, my dear Watson," was never mentioned in any of the Arthur Conan Doyle stories. This iconic catchphrase is now used in everyday communications around the world. The modern-day portrayal of Holmes as a highly functional sociopath in television series such as Sherlock, the British mystery crime drama, is not the persona capable of deep empathy and fierce loyalty in the Arthur Conan Doyle stories. Holmes's iconic deerstalker hat and Inverness cape, which is a traditional Victorian-era outer garment, were made famous by illustrator Sidney Paget's drawings in the Strand magazine. They were never mentioned in any of the Arthur Conan Doyle stories. The legacy of Sherlock Holmes has a widespread impact on literature, especially mystery and crime writing, detective work, forensic science, and pop culture. The detective popularized deductive reasoning, inspired modern crime scene investigation techniques, including trace evidence and ballistics, and influenced modern fandom. Prior to police forces utilizing forensic science, Sherlock Holmes was using techniques such as chemical analysis, fingerprinting, and footprint tracking in his investigations. Real-world forensic science pioneers like French criminologist Dr. Edmond Locard, who founded Europe's first police crime laboratory in 1910, has credited Holmes as the primary inspiration for the development of his forensic science theories and investigative techniques. Modern fandom was created by devoted readers of the detective adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and they pioneered the concept of organized fan communities, including early societies like the Baker Street Irregulars, which was the first Sherlockian literary society in the world, founded in 1934. More than 100 years after Sir Arthur Conan Doyle created the Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson characters, the duo still influences and are a staple of modern-day detective literature.